What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 23 on my road to 700 pounds. This is my last heavy bench day. I am 10 days out from the meet. The meet is Saturday, February 17th. The goal for today is to work up to a 1 rep between 650 and 675, depending on how things feel. It's a little bit brisk in the gym. It's 44 degrees, so I've got a sweater on. I'm going to take my last warm-up rep here. Trying to mimic the meet. Very nice and smooth. Feel good about that. Opting to take 630 to 640 on my next. This is 640. That way, when we make a jump, if we make a jump to 675, it's only a 35-pound jump versus going like 635 and then making a 40-pound jump. Because 605 to 635 is only a 35-pound jump. So we just made a 35-pound jump to 640. Gonna see how everything feels here. Taking the sweater off just to see, make sure I'm warm enough. Everything feels good. Make sure that we're firing on all cylinders before we go up. I'm at a little bit of a time crunch for this workout. Didn't happen on the day that I really wanted it to, but stalled out a little bit there. Just didn't fire off at the right time. Grip was a little bit off.
Paus's fine. I didn't help you, but you definitely stalled. I feel like your grip is even closer that time.
So a little bit concerned. Obviously, I want it to be a clean lift. The goal would have been going to 675 for today. Sweater's back on, keeping everything warm, taking about a 10-minute break between the 640. This is 660. Opted to go for a successful gym PR. This is a gym PR by 5 pounds. Regardless, of the goal for today, 660 is still a successful lift. Definitely going into the meet. Obviously wanted 675, so we'll see how this looks. Obviously, you saw the stall on the 640. This is 20 pounds heavier. Stall just a hair. So I'm definitely not happy that the 640 didn't move that way.
You gotta do it now.
So I'm asking my buddy here, he's got to go to work. I'm asking him if he has 5 minutes.
You know what it was? I jumped my warm-ups. I gotta switch it. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to. Well, and your grip is back wide.
So we're basically discussing grip was a little bit off. We're discussing warm-ups because obviously the warm-ups are a little different. This is literally 5 minutes later from that last lift, which is not ideal. It's very similar to taking like a 4th attempt at a meet. Fatigue is definitely at an all-time high right now. I've just taken 3 lifts, 605, 640, 660, and this is 5 minutes later. So we're going to see how this feels. This has definitely been a huge milestone that I've been wanting to hit in the gym. I told him, regardless of how it looks, do not touch it. Let me finish the lift, and unless it looks like I'm going to die.
Get up! Get up! Finish it! Let me hold it. Let me hold it for a little bit. Let me hold it. Touch it? I mean, my hands were on the bar, but with no help? Oh, shit, yeah. Woo! I mean, if it helped at all, it was maybe a pound. It's all good. In my hands? Oh, it's all good. That felt good. Woo! I got to get out. All right, man. Appreciate it.
So he had to take off to go to work, as you heard. That is not my finest lift by far. I don't think that would definitely pass in a meet. But regardless, I feel like that is definitely a huge milestone. Even if I wouldn't have taken that lift, 660 felt great. I do feel very confident going into the meet. Going on to weighted dips here. First one was 5 reps with 200 pounds. This is a moderate weight in between. I'm going up to 3 reps with 275. I don't suggest going from 200 to 275 right away. So this is just a single, just to kind of hit the CNS a little bit. I set up an Instagram live here because the gym is actually empty. The motivation is is pretty low. I'm definitely in there cheering myself on. Got the music going, but just in case I fall out, because definitely these are not easy to do. I wanted to have somebody at least watching, so if I fall out, at least I have somebody that will call the help and have somebody come save me. But this went off without a hitch. Felt pretty good. This is 275 pounds plus that rogue pin, which is 281, plus my body weight, which is just about 295. So basically doing 576 for a triple here. So these feel pretty good. Triceps almost gave out there, but finished it out. So as I kind of complete the accessory work here, moving on to isometrics, just like last week, moving on to a couple sets of these, mid-range and 2 inches from lockout with some speed bench. These definitely work on not really handling the weight, but actually pushing maximum force. If I had to guess, I'm probably putting 800 to 900 pounds worth of force into that bar, but I'm not having to actually strain the joints and ligaments in a movement. So I'm able to isometrically press and fire off the muscle to where it feels that much pressure, but it doesn't actually have to go through the motions and hurting the joints and the elbows and things like that. Because obviously pressing 800 pounds is different than pressing against 800 pounds with 800 pounds worth of force. But so kind of moving back. So my mindset going into the meet, obviously if 675 would have moved like 660, I would feel a little bit more confident. After some hindsight, looking at the video, kind of going over everything, I'm not 100% happy with it. But with that said, obviously you can't change the past, but going back and skipping over the 660, going straight to 670 to 675, I feel very confident that weight would have been smoked. Of course, the other thing is if I would have had an extra 5 minutes of rest between the 660 and the 675, the energy levels were still going to be down, but I think that explosion off the chest would have definitely been a lot more, that you wouldn't have seen as much of a grind. But just imagine, doing, your max after doing, sets of 80 to 90% of your max for some reps. You're out of breath, and then all of a sudden you got to go for your max. That's basically what I felt like doing that 675. So that is not a true test of strength. That is not a max. That is a gym lift, a gym PR, a training PR. It doesn't need to be pretty. It's not in a meet. Where the meet, or in a meet, is where it's going to count. So I will adjust my second attempt just to err on the side of caution. I was thinking about going higher than what I'm going to be going now, but definitely going to open at 628. I think that's pretty conservative. Definitely want to set the tone for the judges. Want to make sure that I'm not looking like I'm not going to pass the standards of any way. Your opener needs to be something that's pretty easy anyways. Second attempt is going to be a PR for me, which will be between 672 to 683. And then, of course, it's open from that point on, as it always is for a third. And I'm not going to rule out the possibility of a fourth with a successful third. Definitely want it to look easy enough to take a fourth, but I will definitely take a fourth if I've ever given the opportunity. But the more attempts you take, obviously fatigue catches up with you and makes that fourth probability of being successful a little bit less. But I am at an all-time high as far as motivation right now. Mindset is good. As y'all have seen, obviously I'm able to add 15, 20, 30 pounds sometimes in a week. And each week the final lift may look like it's a little bit heavy, but as you've seen, obviously, if you go back to like week 20, 21, 22, 630 was a little bit of a grinder, and now 630 flies up. 640 looked like a little bit of a grinder, now it flies up. So 675 looks like a grinder, but stay tuned. So, with all the speculation out there, I'm obviously going to go for the all-time world record, which is 701. So I've got to chip that, or at least go 1 kilo over. The road to 700 is not smooth. I am a realist. I've always been. Obviously, the road to 700 does not stop until 700 is hit. So if it's at this meet, then that's great. We'll set the sights a little bit higher for the next meet. If it's not at this meet, it's not the end of the world. I will definitely set a PR. I am at my strongest ever right now, feeling very good. Joints, ligaments, tendons, no pain at all, no soreness, getting plenty of rest every single night, eating lots, recovering. I've been to the doctor. Everything checks out. So heart's good, all the organs are good, everything's good. So I cannot ask for a better setup going into a meet than I am now. I am set up more in a better position now than I have ever been. So if that's the case and history repeats itself, this is going to be an awesome meet regardless of what the number is at the end. But I thank you guys for tuning in. I know I kind of skipped over some of the accessories here. The accessories actually going into meet week are not quite as important. These are just kind of to keep the blood flow, keep some heavy weight going into the joints. But I definitely appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned. Meet day is 10 days away. Be sure to find me on Instagram at SwimHack, and leave any comments, suggestions for new videos that you want down below, and I will be happy to answer you. Thanks a lot. See you in the gym.